Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Donovan's Daily Dose. I'm your favorite APUSH history teacher, Mr. Donovan, and today we're going to focus on European contact and Native Americans. Now, for this video, it's really going to dive into periods 1 and 2 of the APUSH curriculum, so we're going all the way back to the late 1400s through about the 1700s. So let's dive in with some context. So to set the scene, we really have to go back to Columbus's initial landing in Hispaniola in 1492. Even though he's not the first European to make his way to the New World, he is going to be one that helps to establish permanent colonization and settlement and the Columbian Exchange. So as you can see from this map right here, the Columbian Exchange has tons of resources going from the New World to the Old World. And in terms of Native Americans, one of the most detrimental ones is going to be those diseases shown there. Things like smallpox are going to fundamentally decimate the Native American population. Historian estimates range anywhere from 50 to 90% of Native Americans are going to die due to the new European diseases that they did not have immunity to. So as we've set the scene, now we're going to take a look at different European countries and how they interact with natives. So let's start with the Spanish. Spain is going to be predominantly assessed for AP in period 1, so 1491 to 1607. They're going to be the major player in the Western Hemisphere, and they're going to colonize a lot of the American Southwest, Central America, and even South America. And they have a very bad reputation for being brutal colonizers. This is going to be known as the Black Legend. So England and France and these other European countries are going to portray the Spanish as these brutal colonizers who exploit Native Americans in the New World, stealing their gold and silver, infecting them with disease. And one of the other things they point to as evidence is the use of the encomienda system. This system of labor is pretty brutal. It's very similar to slavery with long hours, the development of cash crops, no pay, and things like that. Now, that's not to say that the Native Americans don't fight back. They do. One of the successful examples of a rebellion is going to be called the Pueblo Revolt. So this takes place in 1680 in modern-day New Mexico. And at this time, the Pueblo people are going to be able to push out the Spanish for a little over a decade, for about 12 years. They will push out Spanish control. They will eventually come back and reconquer, but you will find that there are examples of resistance to European contact, no matter what part of really the Americas you're looking at. Now, another group that's going to colonize, more so during the late 1500s and early to mid 1600s, are the French and the Dutch. So as you can see from this map, their influence is going to be a lot of the American Northeast that we know today. The Dutch are going to set up places in like modern-day Manhattan. The French are going to be in modern-day Canada. And they are way more peaceful in comparison to the Spanish. They are predominantly there for trade. They're not going to have as populated colonies compared to the Spanish or the English. They are really there for fever and or for fur and beaver pelts as their main form of trade. And as that trade goes on, they're going to start to make consistent allies. The French are going to be paired with the Algonquian, and the Dutch are going to be paired with the Iroquois. So in that, you'll have the exchanging of manufactured goods from Europe in exchange for those beaver pelts and furs that I brought up previously. Now, last but not least is the English. So their first permanent settlement isn't going to be until 1607. Numerous factors play a role in this, but one of the ones that deals with kind of North America is the fact that the English tried to establish a permanent colony in the 1580s with Roanoke Island, which is just off the coast of modern-day North Carolina, but it fails, and it's still rooted in historical mystery as to why it disappears. But after that, they try again. In Jamestown, they'll establish the first permanent British colony in 1607, and they will have very initial friendly relations with the Powhatan Confederacy in modern-day Virginia, and that's in large part thanks to John Smith. Now, that relationship, that positive relationship, doesn't last long. As the English continue to encroach on land, the Powhatan Confederacy is going to start seizing British goods, and it is going to cause some conflict, some armed conflict between them. Now, another example of armed conflict we see where the Native Americans start to resist this European control is with Metacom's War, also known as King Phillips War. So here's a picture of Metacom. He was the military leader for Native Americans in the New England region fighting back against English encroachment. This takes place in 1675, and even though they try to fight back from English encroachment, It is unsuccessful. The English continue to take over Native American lands, and this results in them being forced westward. Now, as you can see, there are some similarities and differences between these European countries. European countries, some of the big similarities they have, all of them are coming here with Christian values that they are trying to spread. All of them are coming here for access to new natural resources and trade, and the differences lie in the treatment of it. So like with the French and Dutch, especially the French, they're going to have examples of intermarriage with Native American tribes, where that is going to be less prevalent in a place like New Spain. So there it is, folks. Quick 5.5-minute breakdown of European contact and Native Americans during periods 1 and 2 of the APUSH curriculum. Have an awesome rest of your day.